diving all into modeling. The highly requested episode. It is finally here, and I feel ready to do it. I have been waiting just for the time, and the time is now. So let's get right into it. As I just said, I am Maggie. I have been modeling for a little over 2 years now, and I love it so much. It is a beautiful journey, and it is really just a whole community of passionate and creative souls just trying to live their life and bring their creations to life and share their art with the world. And I know there are so many stereotypes and so many just negative beliefs towards the fashion world or the modeling world. And some of them are true. Some of them are very true, and I have experienced them. But beyond all that, there is so much magic and creation, and just the people in this industry are phenomenal people if they are truly passionate about it. Like, there's some people who want to be in it and that are in it, and they're just not fully immersed in this creative journey. And that's okay. I feel like that's a part of like any community that you're in. There's always going to be people who are in it more than others. And I just want to get that out there that this, if you want to get into modeling and if you want to pursue a creative journey, I 100% fully support that and 100% believe that you should do it, because it is life changing. Truly. It really is. I love the industry. I love the creative souls. I love having the freedom to just express and seeing other people just freely express themselves. That is all that it is, truly. Because it's just when somebody creates a brand, whether it's clothes, whether it's skincare, whether it's makeup, it is coming from their soul for the most part. There's some brands that do it for the money, but the true creatives, they are bringing their passion and their art to life through the form of their choosing, whether that's clothes or makeup or hats or shoes, whatever. But it's so beautiful. It is so beautiful to see. And I really love it. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But for me, like I said, I have been modeling for a little over 2 years now, and what that has all included, I originally got started in November of 2021. That's whenever I moved out to Arizona. I'm from a small town in Illinois, and there's not really a fashion community out there. At least there wasn't when I was there. So and I moved around so much, but in all the places that I was in, I just didn't feel like I was in the right space. I knew I was missing out on opportunities. So I packed up everything with my mom and we went to Arizona. And within 2 weeks of me getting out there, I found an audition online for this company called Next Star Productions. And what that was is a production company. They will take you in, you do auditions, and you either move forward. And if you move forward, you're paying a lot of money to get their training, get their packages, and then they're going to put you in front of agencies. So that is my whole initial experience into this industry. And it was so much fun because I auditioned with a Verizon commercial, and I had to do it on their live Facebook, and I killed it. I'd never really been on camera. I'd never had like major dreams of like, oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get into the fashion world. It just kind of happened that way. I was at school. I went to Penn State for criminal psychology. I went for one semester, ended up dropping out, and then 6 months later, I was in Arizona. So that's just what life wanted for me, and I accepted it, and it's been a beautiful journey, and I'm really grateful for everything that it has become. But I went in, I did the audition, they loved it, they loved me, and I got to move forward. And they had a showcase for us in December that next month after we did a bunch of training. And they brought in a couple agents, and we had to audition for them. And I didn't get a call back, but I did get invited to their national showcase in Vegas, which meant that I had to audition in front of 20 agencies, every other person who was there to audition, as well as their families. And this was like the biggest thing that I had put myself into. I had never done anything like this before. I did dance growing up and I did band, so I was comfortable being on stage, and I just knew that I wanted to be there. I wanted to be there so bad. So I went in, I auditioned, I got 8 callbacks out of the 20 agencies. One of them signed me. I was signed with them for 1 year and I didn't get a single job. That is on me because I was not putting myself out there. I was not giving them what they were asking from me, like updating my profile or giving them new headshots or adding any videos of anything that I know how to do. So that is why I never got booked. So that's something to take into consideration. If you do want to sign to an agency, I'm currently signed to one right now. I'm signed to Signature Models and Talent, and they're located in Arizona. Um, Beautiful agency. I love them, and I'll get more into that as we go on. But if you want to sign with an agency, you just have to be willing. It's teamwork, because like you're not their employee. They're not gonna fire you if you're not doing what they ask. You're just not going to get booked. You're not going to get any jobs. You're not going to gain that experience. So if you want to sign with an agency, just be ready. You have to be ready and willing to do the trainings, go get new headshots, put yourself out there, go find your own opportunities, and just be active and updating your profile. And that's what's going to get you booked, is just fully immersing yourself in that. But with that, out of the 7 other agencies that gave me a call back, they all said, "We love you, you're great, but you have no experience." And I was like, "You're right, but what are we gonna do?" And they were like, just need to go back to Arizona because the showcase was in Vegas. They're like, "Go back, go find some local opportunities, and then we'll see where we can go from there." I did that. I went back and I got so many opportunities. I fully immersed myself. Now I'm full time and I do it. And I never heard from any of those agencies again. But now I'm signed with another agency and it just went on a different path. And I'm so, so grateful for all of that. But that was how I initially got started in this whole industry. It was just a simple audition ad on Instagram. They said, "Here's a free audition for modeling, acting, singing, and dancing." And I was like, I bet. What do I got to lose? So I went in and yeah, that's the whole start. And since then, I've done over 20 runway shows. I've walked for Arizona Fashion Week twice. I did their Barrett Jackson show, multiple other shows. Too many to count. I don't know the names of all of them. But I have done multiple campaigns. I've been published in about 9 or 10 magazines, some in the US, some overseas. And I have also directed some fashion shows. I've directed 2 fashion shows. And I also have done a creative elevation shoot. And that is something that I came up with one of my friends. He's a photographer. And what that was just I I had been this was we started this at like September, October last year, so 2023. So I had been in the industry for a while, been in the game for a while, and I just started seeing like a lot of things. And my intention for doing the creative elevation and what that whole entire project was to partner with a brand or designer who is new and needs models or needs new photos, and then finding those models who need more portfolio work or who want training on how to pose and bringing them together. So we had a whole like 2 or 3 hour shoot. We brought in like 6 to 7 models, a jewelry designer, a stylist, couple photographers, and we just created some magic. And everybody left with photos. They left with more knowledge, more skills, more connections. So that was the whole creative elevation. So my biggest campaign and job so far, I did a Nike commercial. It was Devin Booker's latest commercial with them for his shoe. So that is my biggest job that I have gotten so far. That is actually through my agency. Wonderful agency. It's the one job they've gotten me so far. So far. I've only been signed with them since November of 2023, and they got me that job November 14th. That's when I did that shoot. So within 2 weeks, I was booked for a job with Nike, and I haven't booked anything else since. But that just kind of goes to show like the inconsistency of this industry and just everything. But that is a little bit about everything that I have done. I have done mini skincare. I've worked with Neon Hippie. I've worked with hair care, Air Professional, and just multiple other things. But I want to get into what can this do for you? How can I help you get into this industry and just expand and evolve and grow even more? So let's start at the basics. You are brand new. You have a goal. You want to get into modeling. What do? First thing I tell anybody, because I get a lot of questions all the time of like, how did you get started? What do I do? My friend wants to start. Like, how do you get your jobs? How do you do this? So, this is why I'm here creating this episode. So, people can just send this link to their friends. This is how you get started. I just felt like this would be overall more beneficial than me just sending messages or audio messages and just putting it into a whole episode and just sharing my whole experience, sharing my tips, my ideas, and ways to get the jobs. But if you are brand new, the first thing I always tell people is one, get some digitals. And you may be asking, what are digitals? Digitals are the raw photos of simply just what you look like. It is a tight fitted black outfit, no makeup, natural hair. Girls, you wear high heels. Boys, you wear some dress shoes. Or, yeah, just some nice black shoes. Just simple black outfit, no patterns to take away from what you look. And you want to do it. I personally think that outdoor digitals, just on like a plain background, preferably white or like cream, beige, tan, just a very neutral color that again is not going to take away from what you look like. I did mine on a white background just to see how white I really am. But that is what your digitals are going to be like. And you do not have to have professional photos. You can literally take them on your iPhone. So I want to emphasize that. Like, you do not have to have these major resources or connections instantly with really good photographers. Like, that will come. The more you immerse yourself in this industry, those things are going to come to you. So the first step is get some digitals. Put on a black tank top, and I recommend like showing off your arms or just tight fitted jeans. If you have like a bunch of tattoos, I personally have some tattoos on my legs. Um, Girls, you can do it in bikinis. Guys, do some shirtless. Show off your body. It's all about owning who you are. If you want to get into this industry, you have to be confident with what you naturally look like. Because if you are not confident with that, nobody else is going to be confident with that. So that is the first step. Confidence and taking some beautiful digitals. Because they will be beautiful if you are owning that confidence, owning what you look like. And I also want to say that I know a lot of people have the mindset of, oh, I'm too short. Oh, I'm not the right size. Oh, I don't have the best hair. Like none of that matters. Even if you have acne, like as you can see, I have acne. I still get booked. No physical attributes, any physical things are a limitation in this industry. It does not matter what height you are. It does not matter what size you are. It does not matter what color you are. It does not matter what you look like, what color your eyes are, your hair, if you have tattoos, if you have piercings, if you have acne, none of it. The only way that will ever be a limitation is if you believe that it is. If you believe you are too short and you won't get booked, you're right. But if you believe you're short and you're still going to get booked, you're right. It's simply what you believe in. So I know, and I do want to say, like, there are like high fashion runway. So working with Dior, working with Prada, or any of those high fashion designer brands, those are the ones who are going to be the most strict on your height and your size. But that is because they already have their clothes made. They make it specifically for people who look that way. And that's just kind of the way it is. But that is also changing. Like if you go look at the runways, it does not look like it used to be. There are so many more unique and just more variety of people, of what people actually look like. So take that into consideration as well. Like I have a huge goal of getting on those high fashion runways, and I'm 5'5". And majority of people like they're like, oh, females, we need you at least 5'7", 5'8". And I'm just like, wanna bet? Challenge it. Like that's how industries grow. That's how new trends come about is by you challenging them. I will not let these old standards of I need to be this height stop me from doing what I want to do because I know that I'm capable. I have been told that I walk better than some girls that are 5'10". It is all about your belief in yourself and what you think you can do. So I know I'm going to be walking for those designers regardless of my height. Because I have. I've walked for some high fashion designers. I've walked for a couple of celebrity designers. And they looked at me and they're like, we cannot have our lineup like this. We need to get you in some high platform heels. And you know what? I got myself some high platform heels and I walked on their show. So I will 100% walk in taller heels if I need to. Like that is something that I'm willing to do. But I still get to walk and I'm not going to let that belief of, oh, I'm too short. Oh, you're worried about your lineup looking like that. I don't care because I'm still going to own your shit and I'm still going to make this shit look good as fuck. So owning that. So I want to throw that out there. None of your physical attributes are a limitation. It's only your mind that is limiting you. But the second step, you got your digitals. You love them. They look great. And when it comes to your digitals, you want to do some, it's literally like a 360 view of you in pictures. So you got your full body, and then you turn 3/4, and then you get your profile, and then you turn all the way around, and then you do the other side, and you just do that, and then you do that full body, you do it waist up, and then you do close-ups, because they want to see your entire body. And then if you have long hair, you do it all again with your hair up. It's a lot, but it's simply just to see what you look like and whether or not an agency or a brand has a look or a job for you because you're not going to get booked for everything. That's just something you have to accept before you even get started. You are going to get rejected a lot. I have been told no a lot, all the time. And it's great because rejection is simply redirection. If this brand doesn't want me, cool. That's another opportunity for somebody else. I'm going to go find my opportunity that is actually meant for me. Because I believe I have the mindset that if I get turned down, it's just simply not meant for me. It's meant for somebody else. And that's okay. It's called having good sportsmanship and just accepting that you're not going to get booked for everything. And honestly, You don't want to. You don't want to get booked for everything. Because I know for me personally, when I first got started, I wanted to get anything and everything that I could. I was desperate for the opportunities. I was desperate for the jobs. I was doing 3 to 4 photo shoots a week, and I built out my portfolio so fast. And it's a great thing. You want to build out your portfolio, and just having a variety of images, from your beauty shots, your bare face, to the most crazy and absurd things. Just variety. Whatever you're good at, whatever you look the best in. And I just built mine out really fast, and I'm still building mine out. And a lot of mine, I had to transition, because when I first got started, I was doing just like simple shoots with some clothing brands. And I had little to no makeup on, and you could actually see what I looked like. And then I wanted to switch, and I was just like, no, let's do some crazy shit. I need crazy makeup on. I need the crazy outfits, crazy backgrounds. And now, the majority of my photos, heavy makeup. And that is great, but that's not entirely what an agency wants to see. They need to be able to see what you look like. Yes, they're going to put you in heavy makeup and crazy looks. Some agencies will. It depends on if you want to go more editorial or if you want to go more commercial. And I'll get into those as well. But I was set on, like, I want to do editorial. And then all the jobs that I was getting were like all commercial. And my portfolio was not really matching that. But it was still, I don't know. But just have a variety. Don't be set on doing one thing, because I do acting as well, and I got on a free training course through my agency. It was with Mel Mack, and one thing that she said that really stood out to me is, whether it's for modeling or acting or any audition that you have, you might go in believing you are a certain type of character. So, for example, I might go in thinking I am the best at horror films. I have the best scream, I'm the best at being scared, I'm very mysterious, and that's what I believe that I'm best at. And then I go in with that energy and that intention of, this is what I'm good at. And then they see me as, no, you're more of like a lawyer, leader type. Like, we want to see you running some shit and telling people what to do. So, like, what you see yourself as may not be what you're going to get booked as. So, be willing to have a variety. Have a variety. Because we see ourselves in a certain way. Everybody does. We all have a set view of what we think we're good at, what we think we look like. But to other people in this industry, it might be completely different. They might want me to be the murderer in the horror films, and I would never see that for myself. But it's just, it's just the being willing to redirect. It's not that you're getting rejected, you're getting redirected. And just taking that with love, and taking it with just peace, and knowing that it's nothing against you. It's not, don't take it personally. That's how to say it. Don't take anything personally in this industry. Because if you don't get booked for a job, it has nothing to do with you. Truly. Unless you go in with a bad attitude and personality, then that might be on you. But if it's just based on you don't fit the character, and they have somebody else that fits the character better, it is what it is. You have to be willing to accept that. You have to be able to accept that and keep going. That is the key to this industry, is taking the rejection, taking all of the no's, and moving forward. Failing, you're not even failing, just moving forward. Taking that love, sending, like, I've went in and I've auditioned for multiple movies, and I haven't been booked for them. I have one film out on Amazon Prime. I'm in like the very last scene. I have maybe one line. I'm in the trailer as well, and then I've done a couple other short films, but I haven't had any like main roles. Like I haven't had any main speaking roles or main character roles. So that is something I'm still working towards. But I've gone in, I've auditioned, and I get so nervous. I get so nervous and I just start shaking and like in my head I'm doing so good, but that's something I'm still working on. Modeling is just more natural to me. I'm building up my acting skills, and this podcast definitely helps a lot because it's just more of freedom to speak and be myself. So that's another thing is just, are you willing to be yourself? Are you willing to share your own ideas? Because another thing that I got from that training I did from my agency was they don't want you to go in and just read the script. They want you to come in and show them what that character is to you, bringing your own emotions, bringing your own ideas, bringing your own experiences to the character that they wrote. Because that's how you get casted. Any TV show, any movie, like you see, for Adam Sandler, for example, he plays himself in every single movie he does. He brings his own ideas, his own stories, his own experiences to every single character. And that's why he continues to get booked for those types of films. It's because he's just bringing that. So whenever you're going into audition, don't go in with the idea of, oh, I need to do this exactly how they wrote. How are you truly going to portray that character? If you say you already get booked, how are you going to embody that character? How are you going to bring it to life? How does that character relate to you? How can you bring your own experiences and your own emotions into this character's story? So that is the whole beauty of auditioning and acting. You're taking somebody's life and putting it into a character. And it's beautiful. So just remember that as well. But number two, number two. So we got our digitals. And number two, find out your measurements because that is super important. Any agency you apply to, they're going to ask for your measurements. Any job that you get, they need to know your sizes in case somebody needs to style you, in case somebody needs to get your wardrobe ready or completely design an outfit that is catered exactly to you and what your body is. So know your measurements, and you can literally Google this, like model measurements, model comp card. And a comp card is another thing that you are going to need as well. And what that is, there's two different types of comp cards, I believe. There's one that has your digitals, and then there's one that showcases your portfolio. If you're just getting started, the one that has your digitals, of course, because you don't have that portfolio yet. And that is okay. I don't have one printed out anyway of my portfolio, but I've mostly used the one of just my digitals. So you just want to have a really good headshot. It's going to be front and back. That front page is your name and a really good headshot of you. Your smile or no smile, whatever you want to do. Because if you want to smile, more commercial. If you want model look, that's more editorial, high fashion. So whatever you view yourself as. Maybe ask some friends, what do you think looks better? What do you think I would get booked for more based on these looks? So the front page, it's you. It's you. It can be full body, just your best photo. Whatever you want, because it's yours. It's your comp card. These are just my opinions. These are my tips. I don't know everything. I'm going to put that, I don't know everything. I have a lot of experience and I'm very observant, and I do a lot of research and study, and I learn a lot about these things. So these are just my tips and my opinions. If they don't suit with you, I don't care. That's cool. I don't mind. But headshot or full body and your name. And then on the other side, that's going to be you want to show your profile, so the side of your face, side of your body. If you did a headshot on the front side, give a full body. If you did full body on the front side, give a headshot on the other side. So just showing multiple views of you, multiple angles of you. And then you want to have your contact information, your email, your phone number, and your socials. Whichever one you use the most, whether that's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, put whatever amount you want. I always put Instagram on there because that's just the one that I use the most. YouTube's really good. TikTok's really good if you are actively doing that. And if you don't have socials, that is okay as well. If you were like, fuck social media, I'm glad you found this video. Don't know how you did it, but just that's okay as well. You don't have to have social media. It is just very beneficial because then they can go on and they see your comp card and then they can go to your Instagram and see everything else that you're doing. Who you are, your personality. Like my Instagram is fully my personality and it honestly is my portfolio at this moment. I have one that I'm building out on a website, but it's just something I need to do. But my Instagram is basically my portfolio because I post all of my things on there. And you can see that I have my podcast. You can see who I collaborate with and just my personality and the things that I do and the things that I like to do. And because they want to know that you're not just a mannequin, you are a human being. You're a person, you have things that you like to do, you have a personality. So they want to see all that because they want to see if you truly align with what they're doing. And that's why I was saying earlier, like, you don't want to book all the jobs because you want to find the ones that truly align with you. I know for me, I had a big goal of working with a hair company. I love my hair. It is my pride and joy. So I had that intention when I first got started in modeling, but I wasn't out here actively looking for any hair company, any hair job that I could get. I knew I was going to align with the right one. I have done one hair campaign in my 2.5 years of modeling, give or take, but one hair campaign, but it was super aligned with me. It is all natural, plant-based hair care. It's crystal infused. They have affirmations on the bottle. And if you know me, if you don't know me, I'm big on spirituality and self-love and just speaking affirmations and putting things in your body that actually love your body and care for your body and give your body nutrients. So I use only plant-based hair care. So getting my one job with a plant-based hair care, like that's better than booking 5 or 10 jobs with hair care that I would never even use. So that's another thing, another just intention that I have. Like, I don't want to book every job. I don't want to work with every brand. I don't want to be the face of every brand unless it aligns with who I truly am. Because outside of modeling, I have my own platform. I have a podcast where I speak raw, vulnerable shit and I speak love and I speak about peace and I speak about healing and just collective healing and just owning who you are and having confidence and using your power for good. I'm not going to work with a brand that doesn't align with that, and I don't want them to work with me. So just showing who you are, if you do have social media, they want to see that because they want to see if you actually align with them. And that might be another reason why you get rejected. You just don't align with their mission, and that's okay. That's okay. And don't try to change your mission to align. Find out, that's another thing. You need to find out who you are. What do you stand for? Why do you want to do this? What is that deeper feeling? Are you doing it from a place of love? Are you doing it from a place of passion and creativity and you just want to bring brands to life? Or are you doing it because you just want to get paid to be a pretty face? Because that won't take you very far. Yes, the money will come, There's a lot of money in this industry, but it takes a lot to get there. If you are aligned with yourself and you have the right intentions, you will naturally grow fast. For some people, it just, whatever your journey is, everybody's journey is so different. Like, there's people who've been in it for years and haven't done lots of things, or there's people who've been in it for 1 to 2 years and they've done so many things. So it's just your journey, and just not comparing yourself to anyone else's journey, because that's another huge thing with this industry. Don't compare. That will kill you. It'll kill you mentally, it'll kill your dreams. Don't compare, because there's no point, there's no need for it. Because, like I was saying earlier, your physical attributes are not a limitation. So I know I've been caught up in this energy before, so I say this from experience. It's not worth it. There's no need to compare. Just find out who you are, what you love to do, and trust that those things will come to you. It will come to you. I promise. But just finding out what you stand for. What's your why? You know, if you have a vision board, if you're writing out your visions, or if you're writing just anything, what is your why? That is something that any entrepreneur, anybody in any type of business industry, you have to have a why. Why are you doing this? Does it serve your soul? Does it make your soul happy? Because if it doesn't, go reflect some more. Because it should. It really should. Like, I genuinely love this. It makes my soul so happy. Just being a part of this creative community, and being able to bring somebody's visions to life, and being able to be their muse, and them choosing me to bring that thing to life. Like, that makes my soul so happy. Cuz I love creating, and I love being a muse. Truly, it's so fun. I love it. But just finding that within yourself, whether it's with modeling, whether it's acting, singing, dancing, whether it's not in the entertainment industry at all, regardless of whatever you want to do, you have to find that within yourself. What makes your soul happy? What makes your soul smile? Is it being on the face of a giant billboard in the middle of a city? If that's the case, then keep watching this video, because that's where I'm headed. But just find that within yourself. But with that comp card, so you have your front, you got your name, you got your pretty picture, and then on the back, you have the other angles of your body and what you look like, or just the highlights of your portfolio and what your best photos. You have your contact information, you have your socials, and then you have your measurements. So that's your height, your not necessarily your weight. You don't need to put your weight on there. Your height, your bust, so your chest, your waist. Your waist, that is right above your hips. And then your hip measurements, it's the furthest point where your ass sticks out. That is your hips. So it's not up here, it's low, like your low hips. And then you need to know your inseam, you need to know your sleeve length. And one trick that I have, I don't know, I mean, it should work for girls. Girls wear suits too, but for guys, go in, go get measured for a suit. They'll tell you all of that. You don't have to buy a suit, but go get measured. Boom, now you have all your measurements. But your shoe size, I'm sure you know that because you wear shoes. Um, I don't know. I did one show where I literally got like every inch of my body measured, from like the distance from my shoulder to my elbow, the distance from my nipple to my other nipple, and just it's some crazy shit. But like, that's the things that they need to know if somebody is fully designing an outfit to fit your body. So measure every inch of your body. Honestly. Um, yeah, I can't help you with that. I can only tell you what measurements you need and where to find that information. Google. ask some friends, but go get your measurements. So those are the first two things that you highly need: digitals and your measurements. And then eventually that'll turn into a comp card. And a comp card is what you are going to take to any casting or any audition, and that's what you're going to leave with them. So print it out. Have a physical copy, because some auditions and some castings, they won't accept a digital copy of it. If you don't have a physical comp card to give them, they won't let you audition. So have that. It's so good to have that. And it's just fun to look at too. You can hang it up, send one to your mom, mail it out to your family. Look at me. But that's something that you really need to have. Um, and then after that, you have your comp card because you got your digitals and you got your measurements. How do you find opportunities? For me, I found my first local opportunity in Arizona on this website called allcasting.com. Yes, I invested money in myself. I paid for their annual membership. You have to be willing to invest in yourself in this industry, in any industry, honestly, because it's your dreams. The one thing that you should want to invest in is yourself, and that'll pay off. So if you have a fear of investing in yourself, go journal on that. But you have to invest in yourself. So I invested in myself. I got a membership for allcasting.com. And what that is, there's so many. There's Backstage, there's casting networks, there's millions. I don't know. But I chose all casting and it just worked for me. But it just shows you opportunities for anything in the entertainment industry all over the country. So, I mean, you can filter it to specifically, like, if you want to do TV, if you want to do plays or reality TV shows or modeling, acting, promo shows, and there's so many things you can do. If you want to do competitions, if you want to do game shows, trade shows, still don't know fully what a trade show is, but you can do it. Or if you want to do films or commercials. So there are so many filters, there are so many avenues that you can go. You can do them all, or you can do two, or you can just do one. Whatever you want, honestly. It's free range. But I invested into allcasting.com and I set my filters. I'm going to do modeling, acting, and just anything along those lines. And I set it to Phoenix and I found one. And it was a model casting call for More Than Modeling, which, if you're in Arizona, you probably heard of her. I love you, Erica. She's phenomenal. She completely changed the game for me. But if you do know Erica, if you didn't know this, she was a full-time model for 26 years and traveled all around the world. So go ask her some questions because she gave me all the great tips when I first got started. Love her. But I went to that casting call, and you do have to be careful because there are a lot of scams. There are so many scams. People love to scam new models. And I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm not saying this to get you to not do this. I'm just saying it to let you have awareness. Because there are so many people who just want to take advantage of somebody who wants to pursue a dream. Because that is the most vulnerable. One of the most vulnerable people is somebody who is new to something and wants to pursue a dream. Because you're desperate for opportunities. You're desperate for things. Don't be desperate. have awareness, look into things. Don't just find an opportunity and show up. Do a little research. Google it. Does anything pop up? Because usually at this point, if you Google something, it'll tell you if it's a scam. It'll tell you people's experiences. Have you ever heard of Reddit? People love to share their experiences with things on there. But Google something. And one advice that I got told right when I got started was never go to anything alone. Never go to a casting alone, never go to a photo shoot alone, unless you truly know the person. Never go alone because, like I said, they will scam you, and then if you show up, you don't know what's going to happen after that. And I have been in one situation, a couple situations where it was just creepy ass motherfuckers. There's a lot of them out there. A lot of them are photographers. A lot of them are photographers, and it breaks my heart because they go for the teenage girls. But we don't need to get into that. Blah. Get that out of here. Blah. But have awareness. Do some research. Take a friend with you. Because you want to put yourself out there. You want to go to opportunities, but you also need to be safe. You need to be self aware and you need to be cautious because you don't know, especially if you're brand new. You don't know what you don't know. So take a friend with you, research, and my platform is open. If you are new and you have opportunities, feel free to send them my way. I don't know everything, but I have gotten really good at figuring out what's a scam and what's not. So my space is open as well. So I just want to throw that out there. If you're new and you don't have any connections, let me be your connection. And I have hundreds of connections for you for lots of things, depending on where you're at. If you're in Phoenix, I can get you started like that. But it's great because there's so much going on. Like you don't realize there's probably in your small towns there's so much going on. Or if you're in a small town or if you're in a bigger city, there's so much. Fashion is everywhere. Everywhere. Like I was in Arizona for 8 months before I knew that there was fashion weeks like every freaking week. So it's really just about it's all about who you know. And that's how you find out things. So if you're in Phoenix or if you're in that area, message me. I'll help get you started. I'll connect you with some people. If you're in a different area, still message me because I'll see what I can do. Because I am connected to a lot of people who are connected to a lot of people elsewhere. It's all about who you know. So I have a very large network in this whole community. So if you want to get started, send me a message. I have my Instagram in my little bio thing below, so you can find me. I also have an email. You can email me too, whichever you prefer. But yeah, so just be safe, but look for opportunities. So I got on all casting, and I just found opportunities. And I went to that one, and when I went to the casting, I showed up and I wore all black. Always wear all black to a casting. So it's basically like your digitals. You're walking digital at that point for your casting. All black, wear your high heels. And they tell you girls to wear like the small stilettos. I wear platforms, not like super tall stripper platforms. Some girls do that. Hey, it's your choice. That's just I personally find like the thicker, like it's the heel. It's got like a thick heel and like a little platform on the bottom. You probably know what I'm talking about. But that's what I like to wear. I do have some stilettos because some people like those better. Um, and just for if you want to do runway, you need variety of heels. Black heels and nude heels. Those are the two things that you really need to have to get started for like runway, mostly for runway. Black heels and a pair of nude heels, because that goes with anything. Um, but yeah, so you just go in. I went to this casting and it was a bunch of little kids. It was a bunch of little kids, and there was like one or two girls that were a little older and around my age. And I was like, okay, it's my first casting. It was good energy in there. I'm like, if it's little kids, it must be safe. So I went in and we had to line up in order of age to get our headshots. And the girl behind me, her name was Chelsea. And if you're in Arizona, you probably know Chelsea. She does a lot of things. She's been around for a while. But I overheard her talking about all the shows she had coming up, or the shows that she's done, and that she's been in the game for 10 years. And this was my first casting, so of course I'm being really nosy. And whenever she finished her conversation, I was just like, "Hey, what are you talking about? What shows? Can I know? Can you tell me more? I want to do this." And I just put myself out there, and I wasn't afraid. Like, don't be afraid to ask people. You have to communicate. tell people what you want. You have to know what you want and you have to be willing to tell people what you want. So I asked her, I was like, hey, I'm brand new to this. I've never done anything. This is my first casting. What can you give me? She gave me 4 castings to go to within like that next week or two. One was for LA Fashion Week, one was for Arizona Fashion Week, and then the other two were for model agency, like casting calls. And I went to 2 out of 3 out of the 4. I did not go to LA because I'm like, the LA and the Arizona Fashion Week are the same weekend. Is that like that's so she's just flying out here and then coming out? I was like, damn, she's on a whole nother level. I went to Arizona Fashion Week. That ended up being my first runway show ever in 2022. I did that October of 2022, and I did their show again this year, and I actually got to last year, 2023. It's 2024. I opened their entire show last year. I was the first model to walk out on the runway, and it was beautiful, and I loved it. And it was great because I went from it being my first show to a whole year later, and now I'm opening their entire show. So shout out to them. Shout out to Love Your. That's the designer I walked for. Oh, it's so great. But that's how I got connected. I went to my first casting. I got rejected by a bunch of agencies and got told to go get more experience. I invested in myself and I found some local opportunities. I went and I talked to people. And then I found more opportunities. And then I went and I talked to people. And then I found more opportunities. And then I went and I talked to people. And I just put myself out there. For Arizona Fashion Week, it was 2 weeks long. It was the first week is just all events. So you have media day, you have designer dinner parties, and just designer parties where they showcase all their looks and just everything. So I went to every single one. I was almost the first person to show up and the last person to leave at every single event for 2 weeks. I think I skipped one of them because I went on a date. But I put myself out there. I was like, I want this. I'm going to show up. And they knew me so well after that. They were like, thank you for coming. Because this was their first year as well. This was their first time hosting a fashion show. And so they're going to recognize who keeps showing up. People recognize that. If you want it bad enough, you will do it. You will go out there and you will get it. And I wanted it. So I went to every single event. I stayed the whole time. And I networked with everybody that I could. And by the end, everybody knew who I was. And I had just got started. And that completely changed everything for me. Because then I was working with a bunch of photographers. I'm getting casted. I think I walked for 2 other shows that year. So my first couple months, I got started in officially September of 2022. I walked in 3 fashion shows that year. And then last year, 2023, the game changer year of everything. I think throughout the whole year, I walked in about 20 different fashion shows and I did multiple campaigns and it was beautiful. So let's get into all of the different types of modeling. What can you do? So I personally do runway, I do editorial, commercial, not promo modeling anymore, and I do art modeling. Those are some things you probably didn't know that there were all these things that you could get into. So runway speaks for itself. It is you walking on a runway, showcasing a designer's look. That, it's a phenomenal experience, but runway, unless you are top model Bella Hadid, Gigi Hadid, you're not getting paid that much. Or if you get paid at all. A lot of runways don't pay, especially for new models. Something to consider. So a lot of it is giving your time and your energy for experience whenever you first get started. Don't let people take advantage of that because they will continuously tell you this is new experience. It's new exposure. You get more photos. That is so great for when you first start. You cannot continue to do that. So eventually, at some point last year, honestly, I think the beginning of last year, I was like, fuck this. I'm not doing any more unpaid runway shows because it takes up so much of your time. When you do runway, you have to go to your rehearsals and the whole runway show. I love runway and I will always do runway, and it's beautiful. It's so fun. It's creative and you just get to see the entire backstage production of a whole entire fashion show. It is phenomenal, but it is exhausting because you are there 10 to 12 hours all day long. And I hate to say this, a lot of the places, from my experience, they bring your own water and bring your own food. They won't feed you, they rarely have water, and bring something to do. Because sometimes people forget, because they have, well, if you think about it, they have a whole entire show. They're not worried about your personal care. It's not at the top of their mind. They're worried about their show, how that's going to turn out. So take care of yourself. Bring a gallon of water, half a gallon, however much you drink. I don't know. Bring coffee, soda, whatever you want to drink. Bring some snacks. Bring some protein. Bring some fruit. Bring protein bars or granola bars or trail mix, or bring a whole fucking meal. Nobody's going to care. Take care of yourself. So that's one thing with runway. Take care of yourself. Bring something to do. Bring some headphones, bring some AirPods, bring a book, bring your laptop, get your schoolwork done, work on shit, work on whatever you need to do. Watch some YouTube videos, watch some runway so you can perfect your runway walk even better. Bring a camera, you can take some photos. Anything. Bring something to do. Otherwise, you're just going to be sitting there. You're probably going to be sitting there anyway, but you still have something to do. But runway call time is usually 10, 11 a.m., maybe 12, and the show is not until between like 7 or 9 p.m. That is a fashion show day, at least from my experience in Arizona. I haven't done any runways anywhere else. I've only done them in Arizona so far. Currently in Italy, in Rome, Milan, coming for you. But that is a runway show. That is the whole day. Because the last thing they want to worry about is if their models are on time. So the first thing they want to get done is get all of their models there, because they have to start hair and makeup. They have to get you fitted if the designers haven't done any fittings or if they change some things. So the last thing they want to worry about is where their models are at, because the models are the one final thing that bring the show together. You can put all the production, you can get everything else together, but if your models aren't there, you don't have a show. So models, show up. That's your one and only job on a runway show at first. Just show up. Show up on time. No, you can be like 5-10 minutes late. No, I don't even recommend that. Just show up on time. Have something to do, be prepared, take care of yourself in the morning, and go do your job, regardless of if you're getting paid or not. Because a lot of them don't. But go do your job. So that's a whole runway experience. And I love it. It's so fun. You're just strutting on the catwalk and you just make so. Runway is a beautiful place to make hundreds of connections because you never know who's going to be there. There's so many people involved in fashion. Like, I have met multiple business people who don't work in fashion at all, but they still go to these shows. So if you have things that you do on the side, go network for that. Runway is a phenomenal place if you are getting started to make your connections and grow your network and just gain experience. And it's just fun. Who doesn't want to put some fancy clothes on and strut down the runway? I love it. But that's a runway. And then you have your commercial modeling. So that's going to be your websites. That's going to be modeling for clothing brands outside of runway. So on their websites, on their social media, on the billboards, or in magazines, that's your commercial and print work. So if you get your face printed on a magazine, that is print work. Or a commercial, that's usually like e-commerce, so the websites and everything. I have done lots of that. That's where the money is. That's where the money is. Commercial work. So think about that as well. You make phenomenal connections with that. Everywhere you go, any job that you get, connect with the people. Because we're all just people. Don't be afraid. Of course, don't interrupt. Don't, if they're busy, let them do their thing. But there's always going to be a little bit of time for you to connect. Get everybody's socials. That is one thing that I always do. I would just pass my phone around and be like, hello guys, add me. It works because then even if you don't have time to make a full blown connection right there, you still got their contact. And one way that I did that is make a business card. I just finally created a physical business card. I created it on Canva by myself, and you can print them and ship them to yourself from Canva as well. So that's an option. But there are digital business cards you can do. I personally have Blink. It's BLINQ. Um, and it just gives you a QR code that you pull up on your phone, and then people scan it, and it shows a photo of yourself, all your businesses, your links, your socials, anything. So get a business card. Or you can just use your Instagram. Give people your Instagram. Those are some options, but have a way for people to connect with you very easily. Because you don't want to, I don't know. It makes things go a lot smoother, but there's so many ways to connect with people. I highly, highly recommend getting a business card. Whether you just have your name and your phone number and one social on there, it doesn't matter. It'll grow. It'll grow. I didn't have a website on there for the longest time. And now I have my socials, my name, my podcast, and my website. So it grows. But you have to be willing to start somewhere. So that is the commercial work. And that is what pays. That's all your campaigns. So for the hair company I worked for, that was for their fall campaign. I got paid a lot. And you're on set. Usually, I'd say with campaigns, it's usually between like 2 to 6 to 8 hours. That's a whole day where you're just shooting. And a lot of the times, if you're doing for a campaign, you're not the only model. So you will have breaks. And with campaigns, they usually give you lunch because I feel like they're just required to. Every single paid campaign I have done, they have provided lunch. And they have also, for the higher productions, like the one I did for Nike, it was an 8 hour day and I got in at 9 a.m. They had a whole breakfast buffet set up. And then throughout the day, they had like the crafty things. So that's just like little snacks or little electrolyte things for your water bottle. And then for lunch, they had a whole fajita bar. So, like bigger campaign productions, they will take care of you. Runway, that's not their priority, unfortunately. It's growing. I have been on multiple shows where they will feed you. They're not going to give you a whole meal. They're not going to give you a whole fajita bar, but they'll bring you some snacks, granola bars, Rice Krispie treats, water. So runway tries. And I haven't done like major runway yet. I've mostly done major campaigns. So that's just my experience. Other people have different experiences than me. But to my knowledge, campaign, if you work past like, it's just kind of like a regular job. If you're there for 8 hours, most jobs, they give you a lunch break. After you work, if you hit like a certain time, they have to feed you. They have to give you a break. It's the same thing with these campaigns, from my experience. And I've had sometimes, well, they'll bring in whole catering and then we'll all sit down for like an hour and we'll eat and then clean up and, bring some floss, bring a toothbrush if you need, touch up your makeup, bring some perfume, wear deodorant. You don't want to make the clothes stinky. Personal hygiene is key. Take care of yourself. Regardless of if you're a model or not, take care of yourself. It's your one body you got. Love it. Clean it. It's good for you and the people around you. But I love campaigns. They are so much fun. And you just have to go in knowing what's going on. You got to know what you're doing. And when it comes to posing, so there are so many schools and like model classes you can take. I know people who do model like posing classes. I attempted to do a pose class at one point, but that was just not my route to take. Um, if you're in a bigger fashion community, there are resources and classes you can take to learn more. I did go to one model school. It was Barbizon. I had a terrible experience. Absolutely terrible. I got harassed in the class. And I'm not here to shit on anybody, you know. We all have our days. I had a terrible experience because I feel like I wasn't learning more than what I was already learning on my own, other than the fact that I was just getting more time to intentionally work on runway or work on acting. But in my opinion, it was a complete waste of money and waste of time. I didn't really gain anything from that. And with that, you were supposed to like take the class and then you go to a graduation and then you sign with their agency. I did not go to the graduation. I did not sign with that agency because I'm like, this was a really shitty class. I don't want to sign with an agency that's connected to that. I know people that are signed to that agency, you know? It's your journey. That's just my experience. There are much better classes and schools out there for it, but I personally do not think you need it. Truly. There's YouTube. Go on YouTube. You can learn how to pose. You can watch that's what I do. I go on YouTube and Zendaya is my idol. I watch her campaigns and any shoots that she does, or just find people that inspire you that are ahead of you in this game and go find their videos on YouTube and watch what they do. That's a beautiful way to learn, and it saves you money and it saves you times and it saves you the possible interaction of getting harassed because nobody likes that. But just use your resources. Social media and YouTube, you can learn how to do anything on there. It's just whether or not you're willing to put in the time to do that. And for me, I was. So you have to, that's another way of investing in yourself is taking time out of your day to learn something more than what you currently know. So if you want to do a modeling school, that's great. I'm not here to say that's a really bad idea. I'm just here to say there's a way to do it, one, to save money, and also just get a wider variety of things because there's so much on YouTube. So much. Or people post like posing techniques on Instagram. Go on TikTok, search model posing class or something. There's resources out there for you. So study those. Practice in the mirror. You have to be comfortable looking at yourself and moving, and just modeling for a photo shoot is it's a flow. It's like a dance. You can't just I know I just was naturally it just naturally came to me. I was a dancer for 4 years, so just moving my body and flowing, it just naturally came. But there's a lot of people, a lot of models, and a lot of photographers have told me this. There are models who would come in and they're like, okay, what do I do? Don't be that person. Do your own research. Don't rely on other people because the last thing a photographer wants to worry about is directing their model. Yes, they will guide you. Yes, if they have a vision, they'll tell you. If they see a pose that they want, they'll tell you. But they have to worry about the whole production. They have a whole camera and lighting and making sure you look good out because you're already doing a good pose. So be willing to put in that work and learn how to move your body. Go practice. There's a free app you can get on your phone. It is called Lens Buddy. And you can set it up, get a tripod, set your phone up on a window or something, and you can set it up. It takes timed photos from like 5 to like 500. Practice. I used to do this all the time before I even really got into modeling because I just wanted to take my own photos and look cute. So I would set my phone up and I would take hundreds of photos of myself. But that helps. It really does. Because then you start to learn your angles. You start to learn what poses make you look the best. You start to learn how to elongate your body. Because you don't, what I've really noticed is, especially for like higher paid campaigns, they want you to look longer. So I know one thing that I learned, you can't see my feet, but don't turn your feet in, turn them out. It makes your legs look longer. Just like learning things like that to not cut off your body or cut off the flow. Because like your every single part of your body makes an impact in the photo. Say I'm like this, but my finger's like this, that impacts the whole photo. Or I'm like this and my hand looks like this. Like you have to be self-aware of your entire body for a shoot, from your head to your little pinky toe. You have to it comes with practice. Don't feel like you need to know everything right from the start. It comes with practice. So just practice. Practice makes you better. It doesn't make you perfect because nobody's perfect. It makes you better. Yes, you will start to gain lots of experience, and some people might think like, oh, you're just so perfect every time. That's great. You're just putting in lots of work and you're doing what you need to do. That's phenomenal. That's where you want to get. But don't feel like you have to be there when you first start, because you don't. So just self-awareness. You want to look flowy and elegant. Like models make poses look so easy, but it's so hard. Like I have been in shoots where I'm straining my abs because I'm trying to hold myself up and just it's hard. You have to have some strength in your body to hold these types of poses, and also mobility. So go stretch, do some yoga. You want to be the more flexible and freely you can move your body, I feel like it's the better. It's better. Because if you're just stick pose and you can't bend your legs certain ways, like you get creative. The more flexible you are and the more mobile you are. It's better. So go stretch. Go get flexible. It makes your photos fun because then you can like hold your leg up here and put your head down here, you know? You can do whatever you want. But they love that shit. They love that shit. And don't be afraid to move because like I said, like the last thing the photographer wants to worry about is how to direct and guide their models. So be willing to freely pose. Do flow with how you're feeling. Don't, because I know I've been on some shoots where I'm set in my mind on what I think that they want. And so I don't put my own ideas into it. And then I look at the photos and I'm like, I could have done so much with that. Move around. Don't get crazy, and don't be afraid to do one pose 5 times just to make sure they got the shot. So it's working as a team. We all have different eyes. As a model behind the camera, you don't see everything that they're seeing in front of the camera. Other way around. You in front of the camera, behind the camera. They don't, you guys don't see the same things, but if you can get in flow together, you create some fucking magic. And it's beautiful. But another thing you can do is promo modeling. And that is another way to get paid. What promo modeling is, that's more brand ambassador. And there's lots of apps. So if you just want a side hustle, promo modeling is your guy. And there's apps, there's Push Agency, there's Pop Bookings, there's Trusted Herd, there's Facebook groups. Go on Facebook and look up this shit. There's so many opportunities, and there's so many businesses and brands that need talent. So the opportunities are out there. You just have to find them. So that's one thing. And for promo modeling, I've done a variety of different things. I've done some like liquor promotions. It's promotional modeling. That's promo modeling. Promotional modeling. So you are promoting a brand. You're promoting a service. So I've done it for energy drinks where I've just gone to like a baseball game and passed out energy drinks just to have gain awareness of this brand. So things like that. And I got paid. With promo modeling, they take 30 to 90 days to pay you. Same thing with a lot of modeling. They take 30 to 90 days to pay you because as a model, you're the last one to get paid. The client has to pay the person who produced the whole production, and then they pay the models. Then they pay their team. 30 to 90 days. Sometimes you'll get paid the next day. Sometimes you'll get paid the next week. Sometimes you'll get paid 3 months later. It's so inconsistent. So that's also something to take into consideration. It's 30 to 90 days, maybe a week, no more than 90 days. If it takes longer than 90 days, you need to be calling some people because that's ridiculous. Honestly, even my agency, like they take like 2 months, about 2 months. That's like, I feel like the longest, like 90 days, they're pushing it at that point. 3 months, really? Come on, guys, get your shit together. But so promo it, yeah. So that's just like promotions. I've done it. I did one. They're really cool. Like they're really fun. I've done ones where I'm going into a liquor store and I'm just standing there passing out samples of alcohol. That was my least favorite. I hated doing that. Honestly, I don't drink a lot of alcohol anyway, so I'm like I don't want to just push alcohol to random people. That's not my thing. If that's your thing and that sounds fun to you, there's so many opportunities out there. There's so many agencies. You can even find them on Instagram. Just look up promotional modeling agencies and also do some research. Um, but I've done one for this private Italian jewelry event, and it was a bunch of well known Italian jewelry designers all flown into this event, and they had models modeling for each brand, and everyone in the audience were buyers. So, wonderful place for connections. I did not make many connections because it was a great experience. It truly was. I had a lot of fun, but there's so many, like you can go anywhere from modeling for private Italian jewelry designers to promo modeling, standing liquor promotions, standing in a liquor store. That's the variety of promo modeling. Ooh, another thing I did with promo modeling is I worked last year. The Super Bowl was in Phoenix, so they had everything going on. I worked the Fox Sports News Media Day. So I was literally on stage. They had all of the famous sports commentators, and I'm standing there guiding the media, getting them not to run on stage. And like Rob Gronkowski was there, and other people that I have no idea who they are. They were there, but I know Rob. I don't really know him, but that was insane to see, like a whole Fox News production because like they had these booths set up for all like the players or just the people they were highlighting that day, and they're sitting there before all the media comes in, and then like once it's going you can't even see the people sitting there because they're just surrounded by interviewers and media, and it's absolutely insane, and then you just watch everybody leave, and it's so fun. So I love promo modeling. I don't like them liquor promotions, but there's so much you can do with promo modeling. It's good, it's fun. You never know what you're gonna get. You never know who you're gonna meet. And it's just more income. Who doesn't love that? So that's another thing. And that's also like super inconsistent. Like I applied for hundreds of jobs, and I think I've done like maybe 50 total over like the last, that's still a lot. That's still a lot. So I'm really grateful for that. But it's super inconsistent. But I was constantly applying and constantly putting myself out there. So I got the work that I was putting in. So that's another thing you can do. And I also do art modeling, which not a lot of people know what that is, but it is exactly what you'd think. I model for painters. It's so cool. I love doing it. And if you're in Phoenix, I can also get you connected. at the Scottsdale Artist School. And even if you're not in Phoenix, wherever you are, artist schools, they want models. Because how do you think the painters know how to paint a human person so well? They have a live model in front of them. You can get paid to do that. And yes, a lot of it is nude. That is figure. If you ever see a figure job, no, you're not going to have clothes on. I do it. I think it's fun. It has helped me love myself more and just, it's freeing, it's liberating. It is not sexual in any way. It is not unsafe in any way. Like, everybody knows the intention and the purpose of the environment. You are there to model and show your human body, and they are there to paint it and learn how to paint a back muscle better, or learn how to paint a collarbone better, or just learning how to paint the curves in somebody's body. Like, it's very important for artists to know that. So that is one thing that I truly love to do. And I am working on getting opportunities out here in Rome to do that still. And in Florence, like, that is everywhere. There's painters and artists everywhere, but you don't have to do nude. There are portrait and costume as well. So any artist school around you, colleges do this as well. I did it at a high school and I'll never do that again. It was really weird, but I did it for their anatomy class where teenagers were drawing my body. It was weird, but hey, whatever suits you. And again, like, it's nothing bad. Like, everybody knows the intention, but that's just another fun way to make money and make connections. And it's a beautiful experience. And I have done multiple different variations of it where I go in for 3 hours and I'm doing gestures. So what that is like, it's a variety of poses at a variety of time, and you're not there posing the entire time. You have breaks. From every experience I've had with it, it's 20-minute increments, and then you get a 5-minute break. So you're not just holding the pose the entire time. You get breaks. You're a human. They don't expect you to be a mannequin or a statue. Like, they know you're gonna move. If you need to go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom. If you have an itch, just get back and pose. It's okay. They expect that. And if you start sweating, it's okay. They don't care. Because my first time I was literally on a statue, not a statue. I was on like a table right in the center. They have the bright lights on you, and I'm holding my pose, and I just feel myself just sweating, just dripping. It was great, and it was a fun experience. Nobody gave a fuck. They probably noticed it, but honestly, I doubt it. But that's another fun thing. And the portrait, like, your clothes for that, because they're just painting your face. Some people will paint your whole body if they're just really advanced. And then the costume, they'll put you in a whole costume and a whole scenery, and then they'll paint the entire scene, and it's phenomenal. Like, painters are incredible people, and I've only had one experience of being sculpted, and it wasn't like, it was during gestures, so they sculpt it and then they take it away. So I don't have a sculpture of myself out there anywhere yet. But that's another thing. Ugh, what else? There's so much. I love it. But I hope you got a lot of good information from this, and I hope that it gave you so much. And if you're wondering, I did re-record this episode because my audio was fucked, and there's no point of me putting out a shitty audio, because it was like, what happened is it was recording from this mic and my phone, so it like overlapped the audios. If you don't know that I recorded it, it's probably just useless information to you, but I re-recorded this. I think it went better anyway. It was more intentional and just, yeah. So I hope you gained lots and lots of good information. Like I said before, my space is open. My DMs are open. My email is open. If you are new to this, or if you already know me, send me a message. And if you want me to expand on anything else, let me know and I'll create another episode. This is just the first modeling episode I've done. It's what I've been asked to do. And I was going to do this anyway, so I'm glad lots of people wanted it. But yeah, if you have any ideas, or if you want to, like, I don't mind hopping on a call with somebody. We can FaceTime and I'll tell you about my experience if you need more than this episode. But like I said, share your ideas, tell me what you want. I'm here, I'm open, and I'm an open book. I love to talk about my experiences. I love to share my experiences and just, yeah. So if you have any questions or anything that you want me to expand on, let me know. All of that information is in my bio. But what I want to leave you with is just one, having confidence, having the confidence to just own who you are. That's all it really is, just owning who you are and what you stand for. Knowing who you are as a person, your purpose. And if you don't know your purpose, like that'll come to you, but just listen to your soul. What do you love? What do you love to create? What makes you happy? What lights a fire in you? So figuring that out, go journal on it. Go meditate on it. If you don't journal or meditate, go listen to my other episodes and I'll help you with that. But because I love, like, you have to have the self-care and self-improvement side if you want to be a part of this industry. Otherwise, it just gets super overwhelming and it can get super toxic. But having that space for yourself, reminding yourself of your why, reminding yourself of your purpose, and just sharing love, being the light. That's what I try to do. I just show up, I try to be the light, I do my job. People love me, I love the people, I get paid, they get bomb ass photos. I also get the bomb ass photos. You can always get your photos. Ask. It might take them because they're not going to give them to you until they already published, just to remove the risk of you putting it out before they want to, because that's how you get in trouble. I've never done it, but I've been warned a lot. But yeah, so if you do any campaign or productions or anything, like, they will give you the photos, they will give you the videos, but they're gonna post them first because it's their production. You're just the model for it. So, but you have the right to receive that because you are in it. You are in it. So make sure you always get your photos so you can build out your portfolio and you have, and it's cool to have that stuff. Like, look what I did. It's cool to have it on your hand and not having to just go to their website or whatever to find it. So you can always get your photos. And another thing that I do want to touch on before I end this is I am in Rome and I am in Milan. Now, I went to Milan this weekend and that was my first time, like, really experiencing a high fashion environment because I have never even gone to New York yet. I was just like, let's go to freaking Italy. This is my first time out of the country too. So I'm just now, like, expanding. So it doesn't matter where you are, like, you don't have to travel everywhere to get all the opportunities. Like, I did all of that in Arizona. The 20 plus runway shows, all the campaigns, the Nike commercial, all of that was in Arizona. And I'm just now expanding and I have all that experience on my belt. So just throw that out there. But since going to Milan and just seeing all of that and just all of the ginormous billboards, like, they have huge fucking billboards of just like one person for one brand. And just seeing that has really opened my eyes because, I'd kind of slowed down. Like, I set more intentions and standards for myself. I'm not doing anything unpaid unless it just truly speaks to me. Like, I'm not, like, too good for things, but I know my standards and I know my worth. So, there's a couple things I want to touch on. Your rates. I'll get into my Milan story, but your rates. When it comes to your rates, and if you're new and choosing your rates, it's about knowing your worth. My personal rates, I charge $150 an hour for a 2-hour minimum. And I will argue with people on that. I have lost jobs because I was not willing to lower my rates. I have been booked for less hours because I was not willing to lower my rates. That is something I personally choose to do. I will fight for myself and I will stand on what I believe I'm worth. but I've also been booked for those rates multiple times. So when it comes to choosing your rates, it's choosing a number. I would not go less than like $50 an hour. If you're brand new, you're still worth money. You still have value. So know that. Because when I first started, I was like, oh yeah, 20 an hour. That's great. I got left on red. Do not go lower than like $50 an hour, honestly. Because you have value. You're a powerful being. So have standards and know your worth and stand on that shit. If people don't have the budget for you, maybe you're not meant to work with them. Because there are always models that'll do it for less than you will. And that's all right. There are models that'll do everything for free. That's just the way it is. I choose to not be one of those models. I have my rates. I stand on that. So if you were watching this and you want to book me, those are my rates. I charge $150 an hour for a 2-hour minimum. But those have been my rates for a while now. And I think they're really good. That's really good. 2-hour minimum, that's $300 just to book me. And also doing like a deposit. Because you are your own business. You want to make sure you're getting paid. So I've had people pay me 30% up front. And then I get the rest when we do the shoot. You're your business. You set your own terms. So you do what you want. And if people don't like that, don't work with them. There are people that will do that. There are people that are willing and there are people that are capable. And I know that. That's why I refuse to lower my rates. Like I had a brand reach out to me and they were like, "Oh, we want to book you for 1 hour. Are you willing to do 100?" I was like, "Look, I have a 2-hour minimum. You're asking me to lower my rates. If you were wanting to book me for more than just 1 hour, maybe. But no, you want me for 1 hour, which is already less than what I have set. And then you're wanting to lower my rates on top of that. I didn't get the job. That's okay. I don't mind. It's another opportunity for somebody else. It was not meant for me, but I stood on my shit. And that's okay. That's just what I choose to do. So I would not go less than 50. If you think that's too low, go higher. That's just bare minimum 50 an hour. For real, for real. Because like, we got bills to pay. We got ourselves to feed. I need some water. But yeah, know your worth and be willing to stand on that and know that there are people that are willing to pay that. Because like, look at all these high fashion brands. They sell one shirt for $2,000. They can pay you $100 an hour or more or less. They can. So that's my tips on rates. Back to the Milan story. Just going there, like I had never seen anything like that. And we were walking by the Duomo, which is this beautiful creation. Everything in Italy is so fucking beautiful. I love it here. If you've never gone, come. I've been here for like 2 weeks now. Oh, I love it. I want to go back. I might. I'm going to Greece, but I don't know if I'm going to go home. I'll be back. I'm just kidding, guys. I'll be back at some point. But by this Duomo, it was just every high fashion brand store that you could ever imagine. Even the Dolce Gabbana Casa. And I want to put these photos in, so I'm going to remember to do that. But I want to put these photos in because this episode is getting very long. But who cares? I can do what I want. If you choose to listen, I love you. If you're still here, good for you, because that just means you're ready to invest in yourself. But they had the Dolce & Gabbana Casa house, and just seeing all that and feeling the energy of everything, like it just truly expanded my mind of how these people are really fucking living and what these models are really experiencing and doing. Like it was the biggest billboard I have ever seen. I want to be up there. Like that's all I was thinking about when I sailed. I was like, that's gonna be me. It truly is. Like there's no doubt in my mind about that. I just know it is. It's like why wouldn't it happen? I don't know what brand yet, but Versace. But it's gonna happen. But I just it really shifted something in me. And as you know, I have this podcast and I'm getting to the point where I want to have partnerships. I want to have brands. I want to have ads on here. I want to start bringing in on money. But I just, what I realized is that with these high fashion brands, you can model for them. You can be on their runways. You can model for their clothes. You can be in their shoots. And there's a lot of models that do that. They get paid, but you don't really know who they are. And then you have people like Zendaya, Bella Hadid, Gigi Hadid, multiple other people. They're their own icon. You know who they are, and they're modeling for these brands. I heard that Gigi Hadid, she just modeled for Versace and Milan. I don't know if this is true because I'm not connected to them, but I heard she got paid $10 million to do that show. I guarantee those other models that we don't know who they are, they did not get paid that much. I know for a fact they did not get paid as much as Gigi Hadid. So just being in that energy, it made me realize you can either just be one of their models walking on the runway, doing, the runway shit, doing your model shit, or you can be your own fucking icon. And you take these iconic brands and you create some magic. I personally want to walk for and work with Versace because the whole brand is just standing on confidence and power and just owning who the fuck you are and doing iconic shit. And that's all I'm about. And right now, her biggest ambassador is Anne Hathaway. And when you think of Anne Hathaway, you think of all that she's done. She's a phenomenal actress. She's a phenomenal person. I've never met her, but she just seems like a phenomenal person. She is her own icon. And she's working with this iconic brand, and they just create magic together. So, what it shifted in me is, I have these dreams with my podcast where I want to work with these iconic brands. And what I realized is there's no point in sitting here just dreaming about what I don't have. It's about maximizing on what I have in front of me. Because, I was coming from the space of like, oh, I want my partnerships for my podcast. Like, I want them to be around fashion and I want them to bring me all the best modeling opportunities. And just like, I want them to connect me with these brands. And I still want that. But I'm not going to get that if I'm just waiting for it. So what I realized, and I posted a video about this the other day, is just about how can you maximize on what you already have in front of you. And for me, what that really looks like is I already have some partnerships for my podcast. I have brands that know who I am. I have brands that know my purpose. They know my message. They know what I stand for. And they also stand for those things. And we take those two iconic things and we put them together and we create magic. And what I realized is there's no need for me to sit here and wait for the higher level brands and that magic to happen. It's how can I take what I have right now, make that magic, and evolve it into the magic up here? How can I take the partnerships that I have now, maximize on everything that it is, and evolve it to be working with Versace or Dior or whoever wants to work with me? But just that was a huge, huge shift that I've had. And I had to put this in this episode. And if you stayed around long enough for this gym, like, oh, you're welcome. But just how can you take, and regardless of what you're doing, your own dreams, your own goals, don't focus on so much on where you want to go. Focus on what you currently have. How can you maximize that and turn it in to what you want it to be, where you want to go? It's not always about just focusing on, oh, I want to go here, oh, I want to do more, oh, I want to achieve more. If you just focus on maximizing what you already have, the opportunities that you already have, that natural flow of gaining more and growing and transforming and evolving, it just becomes natural. It'll just start to evolve. It'll be a natural thing for you. Every opportunity you get, you will naturally know how to maximize and evolve it into where you want to go next. But you can't go next if you're not even prioritizing and reaching the potential of what you currently have. So that's a huge shift that I am making. And I hope that that hits you somewhere because it's just completely shifted things for me. And just, it's great. And I love it. And I'm really happy putting this out there and sharing it because I know it's going to hit some people right where it needs to hit. But just maximize on what you already have and see where that goes. And that's what I want to leave you with. And I do have a question. I have two questions for you. And one of them I already kind of touched on throughout the episode, but I wrote them down. Is one, do you have a visualization or a meditation practice? Do you have something that you do every day? You don't have to be hard on yourself if you miss a day, but consistently, whether that's journaling, whether that's reading self-improvement books, whether that's reading about what you want to do and reading about your passions or watching videos and just learning, do you have some type of practice or routine to visualize and get in that space of evolving and where you want to go? If you don't, I highly recommend doing that. And like I said, if you want to build more of that routine, go listen to my other episodes because I talk all about it. But my second question is, what is your core reason for wanting to be a model? Is it from a space of love and creation? And this is the one I touched on earlier. Or is it from a space of, I just want to be a pretty face and make money? I just want to work with these brands because they're high level brands and everybody knows them. And it'd be really cool. Like that's great. But truly, how far is that going to take you? So I want you to go journal on these questions, specifically the last one. What is your core reason for wanting to do this? That's something that I've asked myself a lot. Why do I want this? Why do I want to work with these brands? Why do I want my face in stores? And for me, it's mostly just inspiration. Being an icon and doing fucking iconic shit. It makes my soul happy. It's simply like, it's that easy. It's that simple. It makes my soul happy, so I want to do it. Nothing more, nothing less. I find enjoyment in it. I think it's fun. I love creating and I love being the muse. That's my why. Part of it. There's a whole story behind it, but go journal on that and figure out why you even want to do what you think you want to do. Whether that's modeling or anything in the creative journey, just anything that comes to your mind. Why do you want to do that? What space is that truly coming from? Is it coming from lack? Is it coming from fear? Or is it coming from love or creation? So go dive into that. And thank you so much for listening to this episode on the magical lane. I will be giving many more episodes on modeling and just my whole experience on everything. We have weekly episodes every single Thursday. Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and like I said before, If you have any other questions or if you want me to expand on anything else, my platform is open. My Instagram and my email are listed below. So thank you for listening. I'm so grateful and happy to have you here, and just I love doing this podcast and I love having this space and being able to share my experience and just share who I am and my personality and just the things that I love to do. So thank you for listening and helping me bring this dream to life and continue to grow it. So I hope to see you back next Thursday.